Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's been quite a while. I haven't done an art video in a bit. I'm gonna blame life for that. I'm gonna blame my work for keeping me till 1 a.m. most of the nights. And right now it's 4:36, and I should be probably going to bed, but whatever. Fuck it. It's been a while since I did this, and I've had this in my backlog for a while now. Don't know why it's been sitting on my hard drive for so long, but it's there, and I haven't done any commentary on our video in a while. I feel kind of awkward right now. That's gotta shake off the jitters because I haven't done this in a bit. But yeah, if you haven't already if you already kind of told by the title and who I'm drawing and the music in the background, I'm drawing Rayne from Bloodrayne 2. Specifically from Bloodrayne 2, but it's the same character nonetheless, it's the same character otherwise. But I'm doing something differently with this. If you can see, I was using a 3D model. Ooh, fancy, I know, right? I was using a 3D model in Clip Studio Paint. Is what I use mainly. I use Clip Studio Paint EX or Clip Studio Paint Pro EX, whichever one you want to call it. And even normal Clip Studio Paint has this feature in there where you can import just basic posable models that have a bunch of articulation, stuff like that, and you can just move them around and spin them and flip them and do all sorts of stuff. And I spent a while just making the pose, just making the pose, and I referenced the pose off of if I can find it, I'll probably put it in the description, but if I can't, because that's the way it is with the internet, I just can't find links to things. I'll just let you know. It was a I referenced a lady laying in a bathtub, very sensual like, and I really liked the pose, but I really was like, I don't really like the way she's like laying in there, so I'll just kind of change it and make it a little bit more like Rayne. And originally I was just gonna have Rayne laying down or doing something sexy, because we all know that we're all dirty boys here. We're all like them sexy vampires. I almost said it right for once, and then I fucked up. Yeah. But yeah, we all like them sexy vampires. And this basically was just me doing my first primary pass with a rough layout of where I wanted all the water to go, how high I wanted it to go. I kind of wanted water right there, where it's kind of see-through. Her hand obviously above the water a tiny bit. I wanted to make sure you could see Rayne, but you could also see that there's water in the bathtub or whatever. I changed that a lot for the final image, but that's kind of what I was going with right now. And when I was doing this is just my, I've been watching a lot of Greg's videos, and every time I watch him, I always do better art, because I take a lot of his advice, like doing primaries and such, and working up multiple layers on your image, just getting one image and then just working it down and refining it until you get the right image. And that's what I did here. Just did basic sketch, real simple, and then I just came in with another brush right on top of that, more of a pencil brush, I forget which one this is, and just refined everything, changed everything up, made things look nice. And since she was in a bathtub, I originally drew her with her regular clothes on, like her regular leather clothes on, and I was just like, no, that's not gonna fit. She's gonna be in a bathtub, and if you can't tell with the red, she's gonna be in a bathtub full of blood. I was thinking water, but then I was like, nah, she's a vampire. Let's have her laying it back to full of blood because we're edgy like that. And then just, just keep working it down, figuring out how all this stuff is gonna lay out. And I'm just going over this real rough with like a really big brush, as you can see, just really thick, round brush. I think it's like a color pencil brush, I forget, I can't see very well. There you go, I put it over to my external monitor. Yeah, it's a colored pencil. Yeah, it's fucking monitors, can't see shit. But, yeah, just, going back and changing her outfit of what kind of bikini she's gonna wear. She's gonna wear bikini, one piece, two piece. And I changed a lot of this later on. It was really originally just gonna be like a tiny strap bikini that I was like, this is gonna be a thumbnail for something, so might not want to go super sexy with it. Just want to go, regular sexy, if that's even a fucking thing. And, just, check in, see if everything's alright. I don't flip this canvas very often because I was already flipping it a ton when I was looking at the 3D model, trying to get everything just right. Gotta draw the drawstrings. I don't know why I do this on every bikini I ever draw, or like every bathing suit. I just love drawing like little strings on the side, or like if it's a guy like on the trunk, just drawing it on the front. I don't know why I do that. And one thing that I gotta say about this 3D model is it really helped me out with the hands. Cause I bought my desk again. I'm notorious for having drawn really bad hands in my lifetime. People know this, people that I know in my real life know that I can't draw hands. I try to avoid drawing hands as much as possible. And here I go back fucking trying to fix that water level, see where I like it best. And I'm like, about there. And then this is where I start, going through and figuring out where I want the rest of the background to go, the bathtub and all that. How I want the water to be. Do I want it like ripply, or do I want it just stagnant? Again, it's blood, I keep calling it water. Just some simple painterly stuff going on here, not too much to talk about. I'm terrible at painting, as you can probably tell. Even with a fucking Cintiq, I can't paint jack shit. I was gonna make the background like really ornate, like an ornate like doorway of some sort, but I decided no, that doesn't look good. I don't know how I would do that. That probably would take too time to paint. So I just made it like a simple door with windows on the side, like it's a classy bathroom with windows on it, or inside it. And I don't know why I stopped here. Oh, I think I stopped because of other reasons. You know what? I think I stopped because this is where the end of the video was, and I edited this wrong the first time. So I'll be right back. Okay, now we should be back. Yeah, there we go. I clicked the end of this wrong, so yeah, that's a problem I have in this audio editing software. I just can't fucking clip things right, and I'm actually kind of trying to edit this right now as I speak. Live editing on camera. But yeah, this is actually I came back to this after like a month of just having it on my hard drive, just this regular first pass with the gray and everything. And like I worked on a little bit off camera, and I was like, maybe save it for later. And then I came back and I was like, you know what? I haven't drawn this in a while. Let me try and go back, do one more pass on it, see how it looks, clean it up a bit, see where I need and what I need to do, what I need to fix. I changed a whole bunch of things, and I kept a whole bunch of things, and added more detail here. As you can see with the hair, I added more strands here and there, changed up the way they fall, all sorts of stuff. And I think it turned out pretty good. Yeah, just going back, adding more detail. I just used just a regular pencil brush for this. As you can tell with the background, I actually switched hard drives. I forgot my SSD to work, finally. I just formatted it wrong the first time, and this is what it's running off of right now. Clip Studio. I highly suggest it if you have a PC and you need a little bit more performance. Put Clip Studio on your SSD. It runs really good. It runs really fine. Everything loads up super fast. Would recommend 100%, 10 out of 10 IGN. I think IGN actually reviewed Bloodrayne back in the day, if I remember correctly, which is kind of funny. And speaking of review, I just finished writing the script to a little analysis video I might be doing in the future if I ever get the balls to record all this stuff. And that's if I get the balls to record all the stuff. You never know. You never know. I might just end up being crazy and never doing it. Or, you know, I might just be lazy. That too. And as you can see, I'm just going in and adding, I'm just trying to, you know, get the tiny details now. This is like not the finished thing, but this is not the line art. This is just me going in and finalizing how I want it to be. Do I want her to have gloves, no gloves? Which way do the hands go? Which way do all these other things go? And I actually missed something. If you'll notice, you see the creases in her hand. I completely missed that until the very end of the video. Until the very end. Also, I mess up her arm here. You'll notice it's kind of weird for a while. I fix that later on. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Yeah. But just try to figure out exactly where everything is, where everything's gonna go. Trying to get the right shapes for things. Just make sure that when I do the line art, I know exactly what I want. I'm that kind of person. When I do the sketches, I kind of do a very detailed sketch to where I figure out what exactly I want for everything. And as you can tell, I'm going in with, and see I changed their fucking changed that, changed a lot of things, changed how her body bends right there, just a tiny bit, ever so slightly, got rid of the thumb. And you can see I'm going in with a real big, like, I don't know, what is that? On mine, it's big. It's a 10 pixel brush, because I'm working at 1920 by 1080, because it's going to be a thumbnail for the Let's Play that, well, it is the thumbnail for the Let's Play that I'm doing, because the Let's Play is already up at this point. But yeah, I had to get this done before I even put that up, and I was waiting to get this done to put those up because I needed the thumbnail. And I was just too lazy to fucking draw this thing. I didn't want to do it. It was very bad. It sucks when you're too lazy to do the thing that you should do or that you want to do. Or, when you're too tired like I was, because I've been going to work at 1:30 a.m. every night. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And if it sounds like I'm kind of talking away from the mic, it's because I am, because I'm watching the screen. It's on my other monitor, which is further away. Which sucks, but oh well. And as you can see, I can't draw fucking lips. I can't at all. I can't draw lips at all. It's like my one main weakness. My one main weakness in facial expressions and stuff is lips. Something about it, I just can't draw them. They just look off for me all the time. They just always either look like clownish or just bad in general. And honestly, with the finished product of this, I I'm really happy with it. That left arm looks so out of place, and that's only because like I was new to the 3D model, so this was like one of the first ones I ever did. See, I just took away the lips and it looks a whole lot better now. Look at that, a whole lot better. Fix her mouth as well. Mouths don't go like the other way. And oh yeah, I painted the background off stream, or off camera. I didn't record any of that, and my whole setup on the right side is a fucking mess. Remember, kids, clean up your layer organization before you even start on the line art, and before you even do any of that. If you saw that little hiccup there, that's because sometimes when I tab back into Clip Studio, I do this all the time. I'll touch the top of the window, and it'll just it'll count as like a double tap, and then it'll minimize it to like a tiny window somewhere on screen, and then I'll have to undo that, and OBS picks that up as changing the resolution of the thing. It's very stupid. Like it'll track where it is, and it just goes tiny, and then I have to go make it back big. It sucks. And this video might look a little weird because the first half was actually recorded in 30 FPS. If you've watched other YouTubers, obviously, that do art, you would know that some people record in 30 FPS. Some people, excuse me, hiccups. They record their time lapses in whatever resolution. Doesn't really matter. Plague of Gripes records it in 2 FPS because he's fucking insane. I don't know why he does that. I honestly have no idea. But I've always been recording mine at 30 FPS, but then I was like, I've already done a art video in 60 FPS before. I can record it in 60 FPS. Why not do it in 60 FPS? Because it looks smoother to me. It just looks good. Like, you can see every stroke that I'm making. It's more accurate. There's no like weirdness to it, and the second half of this video was actually recorded in 60 FPS, so 59.940. So that's the reason why it looks the way it looks, like for the movement and all that. If you were wondering, like, why does it look so weird? Yeah, that's the reason why. And if you're wondering what kind of brush I'm using, I don't know. It's in Japanese. Because Clip Studio Paint is a Japanese company, or at least I believe it's a Japanese company. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me. I know they have dealings over in Korea and China and stuff like that. Don't really know much about that, but I'm using like it's like someone's custom G pen, just a regular G pen in Clip Studio Paint that has some extra things going on with it, and some extra like tweaks that they've done, and I really like it. It looks really good. It looks real smooth. I really enjoy how it feels when I draw. It just feels like a good pen. I know, that's stupid, but it just feels good when I draw with it. If anyone knows about if you guys know about any of those brushes or anything, using tools like that. And yeah, I took away her nipple. Don't freak out. I realized that her nipple was like, it was a little too much. I was like, no, that's a little too much. It's too much sexy. I'm not gonna draw that nipple. But yeah, this pen also has like a 3x, 2x anti-aliasing. It's that little circle down at the left side where my tool properties are. It's the one that's highlighted like in that little bar of circles. Basically, it's getting choppy. Yay. I wonder why that was. I honestly don't know. Because I upgraded my processor no one knows about that. I've been off the internet for fucking so long. I upgraded my processor because, you know, I have a fucking job and I don't use my money for anything else other than bills and food. So I saved up, bought myself a brand new processor, and that's what I actually recorded this on. I didn't use my GPU at all. Usually I record my GPU, but that's been giving problems lately, so I'm trying to steer away from that. And yeah, I guess recording things in new ways means new problems. It's probably gonna get choppy again sometime later in the video, but who knows? Who knows? Yeah, this is just the line art. Like, this is like one of the most interesting but boring parts. All I can really say is vary your line width, add depth where you need it. Don't always just try to do like a straight line in one direction or a straight line in another direction. Try it if it's like something like I like drawing strings like this, where they're kind of wiggly, they're kind of wobbly, they're not really like just round oval things. I like giving them kind of some weird like depth like that, make them a little like square, make them a little round in some areas. That's kind of the way I like doing it. It's kind of a cheap way to like a cheap manga way to do it, or a cheap anime way to do it that a lot of animes and mangas use. I'm also using a little bit cross-hatching here and there, because even though it's digital and I'm doing soft shading and cell shading, I can't fucking get away from doing that. And here it's dependent the way you'll see me do that little circle thing over and over again because I had to reinstall this and all my shortcuts got ruined. But yeah, that's kind of why. And now I did those just straight lines. There's just a straight line tool in Clip Studio. It has it in like everything. It's kind of how I do a lot of like this kind of like intricate work. And I was gonna do a second line or oval for that, use the tool for that, but no, fuck it, just gonna draw it. Looks fine. I don't know why I stopped there. I'm actually kind of confused. My cursor was wibble wobbling around, but it wasn't doing anything. So I honestly had no idea what I was doing. I think I was talking to someone. That's so dumb. Yeah, I remember this recording session. Everyone kept bugging me, and I kept telling everyone to shut the fuck up. But yeah, and I really hate. I don't know, but I really hate when I have to split these drawing sessions up into multiple parts, because it's more editing work for me. I can't just put it in here and then have it record properly at all. I have to put it in here, and then I have to sync up all of them and then cut out the extras if there is extra bits of stuff. And when you speed up a video with certain video editing softwares, sometimes there is extra. Like, I never had this problem because I used to use Windows Movie Maker. I know, shocking, fucking shocker. But I used to do that, and I used to not have a problem with that, because in Windows Movie Maker, when you speed something up, it just shortens the entire video to a certain to the correct length. But in like Sony Vegas and like other like Movie Studio Platinum, Sony Vegas, some other stuff like that, you don't get that sometimes. I don't know why, but some of them don't do that. They don't just shorten the video. But like it shortens the video, yes, but it keeps the original length of the video, so then you have to cut everything out. annoying. And as you can see there, I drew pupils on her. I gave her little pupils. I don't know why. You never usually do that, but oh well, there it is now. And you know, add her little fangy fangs because you know she's a vampire. Going back and cleaning this up, just you know, typical line art bullshit. Also, if you want a tip for drawing female eyes, just give them eyelashes. For anime eyes, just give them eyelashes. Real simple. And here I'm like going through and I'm like, what? Where is the, like, why is everything looking all weird? And what is with my sketch layers? And my sketch layers were all fucked up at this point. That's the reason why I'm flipping through all these layers so much, because I was like, something's missing, and I realized I missed that part of her hand. Not a crazy part. I'm terrible at drawing hands, so just something quick and simple is better for that. Oh yeah, and I had to change a lot of settings and things because like I said, I had to reinstall everything, so this took way longer than it needed to. Had to redo all my settings for all my things, had to redo all my shortcuts. And if anyone knows about that, they know that that's a fucking hassle. And honestly, I thought I lost this image, like the sketch for it, because when I switched hard drives, I was like, oh fuck, it's on my other hard drive. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I backed everything up to my cloud, to my I backed some of my art to my Google Drive and stuff like that. Then I just got it back. And it's just that simple. Just downloaded it all from the drive, and I was like, hey, look at that. Now it's time for color. As you guys are so welcome to. This looks really good on my second monitor, which is an IPS monitor. It's what I use for color correction and stuff like that. But on my normal monitor, my monitor in the middle, it's not an IPS monitor. It's just a regular monitor, and it's incredibly bright and saturated, which is nice. It's good for some things like video games. But one thing it's not good for is drawing, because right now I'm looking at it side by side, and one's bright and vivid and one is a little bit yellow, a little bit tinted, and I have blue light on my main monitor because it hurts my eyes to stare at it. See, I fixed your arm right here. It's like, I was like, ah, that's too far up. That's not how arms work. Or too far down, that's not how arms work. And now it's a little bit too far up, but it looks better, in my opinion. I just felt it looked better. And, yeah, that's one important thing I should say about art is, if you're not using like a Cintiq or or some kind of drawing tablet, or like some screen tablet that you're using, like a Cintiq or a what is that? A UG or a what is the other one? Not a like a monoprice. I don't know what is it. Monoprice? I don't know what it is. It's I just saw it. I just saw a review of it a while ago. But it's like you're not using like a drawing tablet with a screen on it with a properly already calibrated screen. You can always just properly calibrate it yourself. Usually on sites like CNET and stuff like that, they have calibration settings that you can look up. This middle monitor of mine doesn't have that, so I have to fiddle with it, and finding the right brightness and contrast is annoying. Even for games, because it's like some games are ungodly bright, some games are too fucking dark, some games aren't bright enough, some games aren't dark enough, some games are washed out. Sometimes it gets especially bad when I watch stuff like anime or any kind of like movie with a dark scene or with too many like colliding like light and dark effects. It tends to get a little pixely, a little blocky, because it's the pixels are just colliding with contrasting bright and darknesses, and it's really distracting. Which is one reason why I haven't been watching a lot of anything on my PC right now. And if I do, I try to watch it on my second monitor, which is much better, but I digress. Just calibrate your monitors, kiddos. Just do it. I had to do that with my laptop that I used to record these on. I had to do that with my first ever monitor, which, well, my other monitor, my old one, my old HP one. And this honestly looked green to me at first. And it is green. It's just a really bad green. As you can see. Now it's just the same green, just with the filter on it. It's just a really bad green. I don't know why it looked like that. It looks like that on both monitors. It's more like a yellow green, I guess you could call it. Yeah, calibration monitors. Adding eye shine, because every anime character has like eye shine. And I get rid of these fucking lines because I hate them. They're dumb. I get rid of them later on. Yeah. Monitor calibration though. Very important. Very essential. You really need to make sure that if you're doing any kind of art on a monitor that's like too bright or whatever, has a terrible out-of-box calibration, that you calibrate it properly. Oh, and I remember what I was doing here. During some parts of this, I was messing around with Wacom settings because my brush tip, my pen tip didn't feel quite right when drawing this. It felt a little bit too stiff, or it felt a little bit too soft, so I was changing that up. But you know, back to monitors, if you really are having a hard time with telling what colors, maybe it's your monitor. Maybe you need to calibrate your monitor again. And, fixing some things up. And, this is actually a cool little effect I like to do to make things look like blood. That brush actually is just like a cloud brush that I got from Clip Studio's online store. That was free. That someone made, honestly. And you just do that, kind of blur a little bit, make it red, and then this is just a boring old blood splatter brush that I turned to like a darker red, and I kind of just sploshed it around with some lighter ones, and you put it on linear burn, and then you kind of just fuck it up a little bit, and it makes it look like old blood has been splattered on it. I was gonna draw more blood on Rayne, honestly, and I was like, maybe that will get me in trouble with the YouTube police. Oh no, YouTube police. And here I'm just messing around with settings, honestly. Trying to figure out things, because I've been away from art for so long, like I haven't, like before I drew this, I hadn't drawn anything in like 2 months. Don't be away from, oh, my monitors fell asleep. Oh my god, that scared the crap out of me. I'm just talking and suddenly it all goes dark. Like my hopes and dreams. I'm joking, but yeah. And like all my tablet settings, the little buttons on the side, all those settings things got reset as well when I switched hard drive. So fuck, I had to do all those again, and I forgot a lot of them. And here I struggle with what kind of shading I want, like where I want the light to go and all that. And then I realized I'm doing it backwards. I was drawing the shadows on the wrong side for the most part. See, I get rid of those lines. They're done. Don't need them. Don't need them. Don't want them. And this is literally the most boring part, is the lighting. Because there's not much you can do. There's not much you can do with this. There's just keep your lighting source consistent. Try to add some dynamicism or some dynamicness to your lighting positions. Try not to use conventional shapes when you're doing stuff like hair and clothing and stuff like that. Try to go with the flow of whatever you're shading. Like if it's hair, try to give it like nice swoopy motions. Or if you're lazy, just make everyone's hair solid black, like Akira Toriyama. Then again, Akira Toriyama isn't lazy, he's just got a style that he never goes back from. So, to each his own. But yeah, keep your lighting source consistent. I've been really bad about this over the course of the last year or two, last couple months I would say actually. Most of my lighting sources have been the most inconsistent thing in the world. There's just been lights on all sorts of sides and places, and people are just been all sorts of lit up and shit, and it's a bad look. Well, it's not a bad look. Sometimes having crazy dynamic lighting is good, but sometimes, you know, you need to actually have a light source. And the light source for her is coming from like the top left, like lights would be on a in a bathroom. Well, the left of her, but like above her. So there's some harsh shadows on her like left side, and there's like for her hair, just I don't know, just shade it like you mean it. Shade it like a Polaroid picture, because hair shading just makes no sense. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Just make sure you have a consistent either left, right, bottom, top for the shading. That's it. Like, that's it. And here I'm getting a little bit fancy with my shading, trying to do a little bit of swoopy swoops. Follow some of my my older art senpais, as people would call them. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, but it looks cool, right? That's kind of what you want to do sometimes. And like, okay, I'm shading this. I'm gonna be shading her boobies, but the shapes don't make sense until the very end, and it looks like I'm doing a whole lot of nothing. It's because it's shading. It's boring. I hate shading, but I love it. But I hate it. Adding light sources and stuff sucks. And honestly, after I did this, I went back and I just added tiny bits of like light sources and stuff to everything else, because there's some things that were missing. There were some things that were missing, which tends to happen. I don't usually end a video and then go back to fix things, but this time I did. I was like, that looks really boring in some areas, and I was like, oh, you know what? Add to this here, add to that there. Sometimes that works. Honestly, sometimes that's the best bet. I got nothing to say. Just shading. Yep, shading. Doing cell shading. It's time consuming, but faster in certain other ways, but time consuming. Certainly not as time consuming as like painting is, but it's time consuming for sure, because you want to make sure everything is as you want it. And you want to make sure there's no gaps or anything, because if there's gaps, then your illusion of cell shading is just ruined. It's just ruined. And don't be afraid to like just add like giant clumps of black like that. Sometimes that works. Sometimes that, or like this. Sometimes that just is the way that shadows work, and I felt like that's the way that the shadows would be on her legs, and I did it, and it looks fine. But one thing you should remember is that not all shadows are the same. So flip through some colors on the shadows. Don't always just do gray shadows or black shadows or whatever. Add a multiply, turn it to multiply or linear burn or whatever other fucking settings you have, and try different colors with those things. Like one way I found was if you just have like a really dark blue or really dark red or something like that, or hell, even just solid black, and you set it to overlay or soft light, it looks really good depending on what you're drawing. But if you want more dramatic light, you might want to use like multiply or linear burn or something like that, with like a not so dark color, so that like a desaturated color, so you can get like a nice mid-tones, stuff like that. My throat's getting really dry and hoarse. I'm gonna go get a nice cold beverage after this. Oh man, trying to do those lines, forgetting how to draw and shit. Ugh. Come on past me. Are you done with the shading? Are you done with the shadows? You're not done yet? Okay, you're not done. I guess I can talk how I'm doing these soft, oh, excuse me, more hiccups. Jesus Christ. I hate that about myself. If I talk too long, I get hiccups. Oh yeah, I suck at drawing lips, but I can paint them alright. I think I actually get rid of this, but I'm not sure. I forget if I do. Also, I do that all the time. I'll be trying to move my canvas, but I'll hit my spacebar wrong because it's a mechanical keyboard, and I'll just drag something across the canvas and just, woo, oh, it's right over there. Woo, it's over here now. Just fucking annoying. And now this seems really bright, but like on my Cinti, I couldn't tell the difference between overlay, soft light, or add glow. Honest to God, for this lighting layer. So I was like, I need something else. I need some like accent lighting on the bottom or something. Oh shit, hit my desk again. Help it, give it a little bit more dynamicism so that things work properly. And I know a lot of people say, don't use gradients in your art. No, wags your finger at you. Don't use gradients. Don't have a gradient go across the screen. Don't use... It's like, shut up. Use whatever you think is cool. If you love bright over saturated color, go ahead. Go ahead, do it. It's fine. Just saturate the shit out of that. Saturate all of it. If you like really diffused colors, just diffuse it the fuck up. If you can't seem to get like a nice gradient effect going across the screen using your airbrush tool or whatever, just grab a gradient from your like your gradient tool set or whatever the fuck you have, if you have any of those. But I forgot what I was gonna talk about. Oh yeah, the soft shadow thing. How I just made those shadows like a little bit softer on the edges was, Clip Studio Paint has this thing called Smooth Watercolor. It basically, you can just smooth out colors with it. That's what I use it for, at least. You can do the same thing with a soft eraser, but I don't suggest that because it just looks bad to me. Because like you actually erase stuff. With the Smooth Watercolor, you're just pulling color from one area into a really diffused portion, and you're just doing that over and over again until you get a nice smooth layout. And just adding some rim lighting, or accent lighting as I like to call it, or outline lighting, or whatever the fuck. It's accent lighting, and it just, I don't know, it looks good to me. I like it. It makes things pop a little bit more. Try not to go too crazy with it. Try to keep a consistentness with it, like where like where it's only on one side or it's in like the darkness and it accents that stuff like this. I was like, I'm just gonna keep it in the darkness and accent it. And see, I couldn't get a good gradient with one of my tools, and I tried to use a photosphere. Didn't work. And I was just having so much trouble. I was like, oh god. And I was like, you know what? It's this game uses film grain, so I'm gonna add a film grain layer. All you do with that is just go to filter, hit effect, Perlin noise, and then not effect, hit draw. Select filter, draw, and then Perlin noise, and then turn the bar all the way down to the bottom so you can get a nice film grain effect. Lower the opacity and or set it to like overlay or soft light or something like that, and then lower the opacity again so you get a nice film grain effect. You don't want it to be too overpowering, and you don't want it to be too in your face, because if it's too much of those, then it's bad. Yeah, here I go with trying to paint. Use a multitude of brushes here, I don't really know. Oh my god, my monitors keep turning off, holy shit. It's scaring the crap out of me. Now this already looks kind of blood-like, and I really liked it, but I was like, nah, gotta go further. Shouldn't do that, my throat already hurts enough. And as I'm doing this, I had like a full like Google page full of I just typed in water into Google, and I was like, what does water look like? Because I live in a desert, I don't really see water all that much. I mean, what's in my bathtub? How many people take baths nowadays? And I don't know, this looks like okay water to me, but it's just, I've drawn better water. I've drawn better, more simple water. And then I remembered, oh, it's blood, so I have to make it look like blood, and I remembered blood had like this weird thing where it had, where the ripples are, it was almost always shadows. It's kind of how it worked, but then it had like this weird rim lighting thing going on, and I tried to replicate that here, and then I was like, is that even working? It's gonna take forever, like, I don't even think this is looking that good. So, kind of just do a little bit of it with like some chunky brushes that I have. Some, just oil paint brushes, and then I did this, you know, as I usually do with water, is grab your fingertip blur tool and just fuck it up. Fuck it up real good. I was like, you know what, this looks fine. Maybe I'll do something else with this later. Might as well add some lighting, you know? Just blur it, because I suck at painting, and when you suck at painting, just blur everything. So that if you squint just enough, you can kind of tell that it's water, or that it's some kind of liquid. If you just squint hard enough. And then like I lowered the water line, I'm like, let's do this, and this, and this. And as I'm doing this, I'm trying to think, how am I gonna make it transparent and still have you see the rest of her? And then I realized, oh, yeah, blood when it's just by itself is incredibly dark. But if it's like thin blood like this, or like if you mix it with water, it can be kind of still dark, but like that. So that's what I did. And you know, and then I just can't help myself because I need to add so many fucking effects to my art. Honest to God, this is a literal problem I have. I just can't help myself. Like I love to draw effects, and that actually turned out really good. That was like nice. I was trying to go for like a reflection of light effect, and work turned out good. Turned out perfecto. But I didn't like the lighting effects coming from the mirrors, so I kind of just did away with it, tried to fix it. I was like, no, I like it this way. I'll just change the setting of it, and just add some lighting here and there, and try and make it look more like it would belong in actual like fan art of it. Always add your signature, kids. always add your signature. Always go back over and make sure that things are properly colored and we didn't miss anything. Go back over it with the second thing, and then check the final image with everything turned on. One thing I do want to say is I forgot to draw her the shading on her choker, and I added some more elements to this that you'll see later on, but I really like the film grain effect and all that. It looks real nice. But now let's get into the finished pictures, the thumbnail and the regular one. Now these are the finished ones. This is just the finished image. This is what it looks like with all the effects and everything. I think it looks really good. I don't know why, but when I exported this out as two different files, what was it, like a JPEG and a PNG, the film grain effect got more fucked up, or got more prominent in the PNG version than the JPEG version. No idea why. And this is just the same image with the Bloodrayne 2 logo on it, because it's a thumbnail and you have to have that on there somewhere. But yeah, added a little sparkle on her pendant thing, makes it a little more dynamic. Not really much else to say about it other than that. And yeah, really happy with the final thing. That logo's really low res though. But that's gonna be the end of this video. I'll see you later. Adios.